for the period that you stated, 2 weeks.
I have a motion made by Mayor Smith Joseph, and that motion is to reopen the position for both firms and individuals for a
Is that
period
okay, Mr. Attorney?
of,
If a new RFQ is being considered, I'm not sure if 2 weeks will suffice.
The
because
the
you
purchasing,
will?
if we are gonna add firms to it, the purchasing director has it for me. It needs to be at least 30 days for RFQs.
Okay, 30,
okay, so the motion to reopen the position for both firms and individuals for a period of 30 days.
It has to be 30 days by regulation?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. Yes, it's a new RFP. You would have to cancel the initial RFP and re-advertise one, and it has to be at least 30 days open advertisement period.
Okay.
If we add in firm, right?
These are for the firms. Remember, the RFP are for the firm solicitation.
Mm-hmm.
The job description that the city manager has mentioned is
For
a
personnel.
different type of advertisement.
Okay.
So let me
For
just
30
read.
days.
Let me read your motion, Mayor, and tell me if I'm correct. The motion to reopen the position for both firms and individuals for a period of 30 days. Did I get that correct?
Yes.
No. And
Yes.
Okay.
30 days for individual also?
Yeah, for everybody. It will be for everybody. Because if you're gonna have it open, you're gonna wait until
No, that's two
the
things.
firms,
Yeah,
but you're gonna wait until the firms finish and have their time to
Or
apply,
to
so you might as
choose.
well leave it open for the individuals as well.
I would urge that you leave the opening and the
Yeah,
closing dates the
the
same
same.
so that there's no bias either way or perceived bias either way.
Okay.
Do I have a second to that motion?
But we don't wanna.
Or if you wanna limit it to the firms that already applied, we could just do 2 weeks for individuals to apply. But that's at the will
Yeah,
of the
but if
body.
you were to reopen it, you can't, it's a new process. You can't, that would be discriminative into
Okay.
to limit it to,
Okay. I second the motion. If-
Motion was
Mr.
made by Mayor Joseph. Motion was seconded by Councilman Bieneme.
For discussion or?
no, you
No,
can-
you say for
Yeah.
another 30 days.
No, I'm saying, is it open for discussion?
yeah.
Well, I didn't know which direction the council was going tonight on this particular item, but now we got another 30 days added to it. Perhaps, I don't know if the direction is if we look at individual alone or because adding a firm to it, I don't know. It's just, it's kind of, but anyhow. I'm trying to support the item, but not with, I'm trying to support the item, but I don't support the firm component. So, I'm deciding if I support it, if I don't support it, because, this 30-day thing, it's been too long since we haven't had an attorney.
We have an attorney. I don't
Well,
want you to say that.
No, we have an interim.
We
we
have
don't
a
have a
city
firm.
attorney.
We have a super attorney.
We have a city attorney.
Then let's
Is it
hire him, then if that's the case.
Second.
There we go.
We already had a motion on the table.
Then the motion.
We have
You didn't
city-
ask him if he wants a job.
No, but they say
No.
we have a wonderful interim city attorney as well as a wonderful interim city manager. But the bottom line is, we need to really find out which direction I would like to see individual. I don't mind if it's the will of the
But there will
council.
be individuals.
No. I'm just saying, 2 weeks we close it out and then we select if that's the will. But I'm okay if it's the firm. I'm just saying and putting it out there. I think another 30 days to wait is a little bit,
That's when
I-
you will prefer an individual.
Yes.
Open it to individual.
Yes.
n-
Or
not
if we want
firm.
to keep the firm that we already have, I'm okay with that too. But to completely have another 2 weeks for new people to come in the process, it's a little bit,
Well,
messy,
let's ask
but
our
that's fine.
procurement people, I mean, is there any way that it can be less than 30 days at all? If we don't wanna wait 30
Mr.
days.
Mayor, if the will of the council is to re-advertise the RFP, it would have to be 30 days. The RFP right now, as it stands, is still open. In other words, that the 4 firms that had initially applied are still there and available. That RFP, that solicitation, has not been closed. If it's
That's
a
when
pleasure,
we can, reopen the same one for another 2 weeks, extend it for another 2 weeks.
no, you would have,
Oh.
essentially, Councilman, you would have to reject and cancel that solicitation and re-advertise a new solicitation. Just for clarification purposes, the solicitation is still open. So the 4 firms are still there, available, and at the disposal of the council members. And remember, really, this was a two-part process, a two-pronged process. There was an advertisement solicitation.
The only
Or-
question, the only response that I want now, Mr. Director, is if we can do it for shorter than 30 days, yes or no?
Mr. Mayor, as far as, and I can research this, but as far as I know, under state law, it has to be for 30 days.
Okay,
have
thank you
to-
very much. Any other question, any other
Yes,
discussion?
please. If we're going to reopen this process, and I would request that we also open it to firms, because I'm the firm believer in firms. The next question is, how are we going to go through these again? Are we gonna go through another committee? 'Cause
No,
we obviously,
we're gonna do it just like we've been doing for the manager.
we haven't decided what we're doing with the
No, we
manager.
didn't say we didn't gonna do committee.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
it's-
okay,
Yeah.
because, I guess we're not happy with what the committee, provided to us, because we could not come to a consensus either way. So we're just gonna go see what happens with new RFP.
All right, so we have a motion made by, Mayor Joseph.
Mr. Mayor.
Wanna say something?
Yeah, I'm unclear. I guess, what's the motion before us?
The motion is to reopen the position for both firms and individuals for a period of 30 days. And that motion was made by Mayor Joseph, it was seconded by Councilman Biedemann.
I guess for council, this is a rhetorical question, but why would anybody apply this time? We did this before. People applied. We went through a process. We screened them. We brought them for finalists. We selected somebody, and then we threw the whole thing out again. I don't know why anybody of quality would apply this time that didn't apply last time, because I personally would question whether or not we're going to go through the whole process again, only to throw it all out to start all over a third time. I'll be voting no. That's because I don't have faith that this body is going to stick to the game plan when we've just shown that we are not going to stick to the game plan if it doesn't fit our needs.
Mr.
And-
Clerk?
Okay, so, the motion was made by Mayor Joseph, it was seconded by Councilman Biedemann. The motion is to reopen the position for both.
Public forum.
Are we going to public forum? Or are we
It's a
going to open it to
discussion
the
item.
public?
It's a discussion item. It's a discussion, I say yes.
What?
It's up to you, Mr. Mayor. It is a discussion item, but you may allow for
We've
public
had open to,
discourse.
when it was discussion, it's been open.
What is it?
It's up to you to allow public
Yeah,
comment.
it's not a resolution, so we
Right,
don't have to
exactly.
do
It's
Yeah,
pro-
but
not-
it
it's
has
a
been open
discussion
as
item.
discussions before. It's okay if you don't.
Go ahead.
That's okay. Well, we elected you people to make decisions. And Councilman Galvin, that's what you were elected to do, to discuss that we cannot advertise for an attorney at this point because there was no decision made before is ridiculous. It should be advertised it should be 30 days, like the advisor said, and then see who applies. We may have the best attorney in Florida apply. Let's face it, we don't know. Not you guys don't know, you lady don't know, so let's open it for the 30 days. Let's see who applies. You 5 are going to make the decision. It won't be the advisory committee or anything else. You people are going to choose who to pick to have our next city attorney. That's going to be entirely up to you, like before. But again, I think it should be advertised, give them 30 days, see who applies, and then make your decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone who wishes to be heard, please come to the mic or forever hold your peace tonight on this item. Public hearing is now closed.
So the motion
The
was
next-
made by Mayor Joseph, it was seconded by Councilman Bieneme. The
Oh.
motion is to reopen the position for
Excuse
both.
me, there's someone who wants to be.
Good evening. Anis Blemer, 12040 Northeast 16th Avenue. I think it's a great thing for us to take time to pick someone of that importance. And even if it takes time or you make mistakes and you have to do it again, I think it's important. I think it will stay in the record that the city of North Miami is taking its time to choose someone, an attorney. I think that's important for me. Of course, excuse me, I have a cold. Of course, some people may look at it like, oh, they're not agreeing, but yet I believe in the second round, you will agree, and you will choose the best person for this position. Thank you.
Thank you. Public hearing is still open, but I see no one coming, so public hearing is now closed. Members on the dais?
Yes, sir. Mr. City Manager, in reference to the job announcement, didn't we, maybe a couple months ago, we had a threshold of how much the attorney, we capped it at 190 something? Wasn't that done? No?
I believe it was 200.
It was $200,000 based on the budget
Okay.
recommendation.
This advertisement is 222, so there's an extra $22,000 in there.
We'll make sure when it goes out that we address it accordingly. And those numbers are for the pay range, sir? That's why the personnel department did it by the pay range for the thing. The budgeted amount that we limited the budget to was $200,000. But the pay range in the city's pay scale goes up to $222,000.
Okay, but how do we address that? Are we gonna put that
Well,
somewhere?
we could change the pay scale, that, we could drop, we'll just, depending upon qualifications, not to exceed 222,000.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll
but
let-
that's what we
yes.
voted as a body.
And that's
That's
what
what
we
it's,
can
Yeah,
do,
not to
yes.
exceed.
yeah,
Not to exceed
Doesn't have to reach
$200,000.
Okay.
But the
Okay,
pay
thank
scale is at the maximum 222,000.
And if I may, Councilman, it's also set by the agreement, the subsequent
Yes.
agreement prior to
Okay.
the oath being taken of the city attorney.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
I just don't want nobody to apply thinking it's 220,
Yes, sir.
and that might be.
You're quite correct.
that's-
Thank you.
We also have a budget set at
Yeah,
200.
that's what I was, the 200, so it's, I would like for them to at least recognize. No, we were advertising $22,000 more than, yeah.
I'm just making it true.
Okay, okay, so please do that, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Clerk?
Okay, so the motion was made by Mayor Joseph, it was seconded by Councilman Bieneme. The motion is to reopen the position for both firms and individuals for a period of 30 days. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Item passes 4-1. Tab K, discussion on providing any and all options to fill the position of city manager, authorizing the interim city manager to do all things necessary to effectuate the decision of the mayor and city council in filling the position.
Through the mayor, this is an item that was requested by Councilman Scott Galvin. We did receive approximately, I believe it's 61 applicants for the position. Those applications were submitted and emailed to the council, and Councilman Galvin wanted to discuss this evening how we were gonna move forward.
Mr. Mayor, if I might?
Do we need public hearing, Mr. Attorney?
Discussion.
No, you don't have to again, sir. No.
We just discussed, okay.
I'll defer my comments and to allow the public the opportunity to comment if they wish.
Okay, public hearing is closed.
Mr. Mayor, we've received 60-plus applicants. I think it would be appropriate if we were to screen them as a body, not appointing a citizen selection committee as we did for the recently reversed city attorney search, that we would immediately commence, or as quickly as possible, commence interviews with all 60-plus applicants so that, somebody has to. And why put our public through the painful duty that, as Mrs. Montgomery just pointed out, we were elected to do, You know, we last time put that duty on a body and then didn't listen to their recommendations. So with those applicants in place, I would recommend that we start screening them.
Go ahead.
Uh,
Your mic is off.
No, it's actually on. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't know about interviewing 60 people. I would like to see that we do have by our next meeting, at least this item come back up where we could either make a decision. I was ready to make a decision tonight, because not only we had all the application for the last week or so. I've reviewed and done some research. But if it's the will of this body, which I don't mind, perhaps maybe all of us maybe give our top 3 based on the application, and that's 15 people. That's look very, very more plausible, for us to interview 15 people versus 62, because some of them don't meet the basic requirement
Can I,
that we were seeking within the city manager. So
Mr.
yes.
Jeremy?
I think it's up to each council member to conduct interviews.
Yeah.
Someone may decide to conduct interviews with 61 person. Another council member may already make up his mind and decide don't want to conduct interview or choose 3 or 4. I think what we can set tonight is just said for the next 2 weeks, we're gonna each council member gonna conduct interviews based on our recommendation to staff. We want to interview those people, and then next week we will decide. I don't think we gotta say we need to interview 61 person.
If,
Well-
Mr. Buname, if you have 3, how does that work then? If you have 3, you could interview your 3, but how do I know who
Yeah.
your 3 are to interview
Yes,
your
yes,
3 to,
yes.
It's
That-
great if I interview 3, but if nobody else agrees on those same 3, then
Doesn't matter.
nobody's interviewed.
Yes.
How are we gonna interview 61 people?
No. Well.
No, well, let me give my little take on it. If you go on monster.com and you put a position for 2 weeks, you're going to get about 60, 75 applicants. But that doesn't mean you have to call every single one of them for an interview. So you go through a triage, process. The triage process is you get all the applications, you look at them, you look at the credentials, and you decide whom you're going to call for an interview. Let's say I decide to interview 5 or 10 or 15. I interview 15, you interview 5, you may interview whatever. So we may convene at a special meeting, and I will tell you, these are the people that I interviewed, and we will put all of them in a pot. Maybe at the end, the subtotal, all of the interviewees would be maybe 25. Adding each of the ones that you interviewed that we had them. Let's say we interview 4 each. 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, so I can go back and call your 5 and ask them a few questions, be it by telephone. It doesn't have to be face to face. And then at the subsequent meeting, then we'll make a decision. But that's going to be still your decision whether to interview them or not.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
What I think I have maybe a compromise between what you said and what Councilman Bieneme said and what Councilman Galvin said. Perhaps we put in, it could be 3, 4, it could even be 5. The number doesn't have to be, but it has to be something. Either we decide we're gonna do it, right here, open to the public, and it could be a day, and we schedule those people that we give. We say, these are the resumes we like. Let's pick all these people, because for us to interview 20 people differently, and people have to work in businesses and stuff within a two weeks basis, it's a little bit, I don't want to say the word crazy, but that's exactly what it is. But I think it's very reasonable if we
Crazy is not a bad word.
it's not a, it may be very, very possible if we allow staff say these are our top 3, because guess what? My top 3 might include some of yours, some of Vice Mayor. So it may come down to where we're supposed to come up with 15 people. In reality, we only come up with 10 or 15, but those are the those are our recommendation, and the number's not set on 3. I just say 3 because I thought 15 would be a good number. It could be 5 people, you know, at least all of us, because we all have to interview the same people to have a consensus. So that's just my little proposal on the floor.
But if we're not gonna decide tonight, and why don't we postpone that for 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks we're gonna decide?
Oh, no,
Oh,
you
no,
don't want to
then-
wait for 2 weeks without
we got a whole
interviewing.
month?
That would put us back.
I may decide to do interview, may decide you don't need interview.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
up to us. That's
That's
when
what
we're
I'm
gonna
saying.
decide in 2 weeks. If you wanna conduct interviews, you ask the city manager, this is the list that you wanna interview, and everybody do the same, and next week we come and decide.
Oh, you mean the next meeting we come in and pick a
decide.
winner?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. that's-
Because guys, it's like playing politics and do things. We have 61 candidates. We know we're not going to interview 61 candidates. You're going to look at the applications, and you're going to decide maybe 10, 15 people. You're going to review them and make up your mind. How am I going to review
Mr.
61
Councilman Bienemy, what if your
applicants?
10 have nothing to do with my 10?
It's
So-
vote. We're going to vote. We don't have to
But
argue on anything.
here's my concern. It's not whether or not our 5 or 10 match each
Yeah.
other. It's whether or not the public knows who we're going to be
That's what-
considering.
that's what we-
I think it's only fair if you want to sort of go in this direction.
But
We
you
all,
said 61,
we all
that's
come
my
back
point.
2 weeks from now, everybody puts down the 5 or 10 names that they intend to interview. Then you can interview them, and a month from now, you make a decision.
You don't need to.
But how does the public know? If we walk out of here today and say, okay, we're coming back in 2 weeks, they now have no idea who we're considering over those next 2 weeks.
They're not gonna know.
They'll never know. They'll never know who those two.
Would they-
Councilman
They're not
Galvin?
gonna know. We're gonna until we present someone and we vote on
But
it.
that's the problem. You can't just go, okay, hi, meeting's called to order, and I nominate, and everybody's waiting like
Yes.
it's some sort of bad Steve Harvey Miss Universe pageant. And you
Oh,
have to
God.
make known
Yes.
the names of the candidates and not just pull things out of the
and-
air.
But
Right,
the
just one
application,
time.
all the 61 applications are public record. That's when everybody outside know who applied for the
But
position.
we've already shown that we'll go and grab some, we've already considered grabbing people who haven't even applied. If you're willing to say it can only be from those 61 names, and we will not, under any circumstance, consider anybody else.
I'm happy with the 61 applications. I'm not gonna go outside.
Vice Mayor.
Ms. Vice Mayor, please. Go
Thank
ahead.
you, thank you. We got about 60 applications. I zipped through them. There's about 40 that just absolutely, you can just
Yes.
toss out. The managerial skills are not there, the educational skills are not there. That's no
You're right.
brainer. What if we gave to our manager by the end of this week, by Friday
It can't be the
afternoon?
manager.
The manager
The
is-
manager's
is
one of
happen
the
to be
applicants.
an-
So,
an
so
applicant.
whoever it
another
is, whether
issue.
it's not whether we give it to our attorney or Joe or anybody
Joe,
else,
Joe,
we
look
give,
at it rolling.
we each write on a little piece of paper, 3 names, say, these are my names. It can be published to us in the public by Monday, say, this is a list that the council has selected, that's who we're looking at, and then we can start interviewing them starting Monday. And that way the public can know, everybody will know, and we
No, but
don't-
the public doesn't have
we-
to know who chose whom.
that's okay, I'm
They
saying
won't know.
that, that's why,
They will
I'm
know,
giving my
because
will
we're
have a
gonna
final
vote
list.
on it.
No, they will have a
Mr. Mayor,
final list.
Mr. Mayor, I'm
But-
giving my 3 names to Mr. Roglieri, okay?
Uh-huh.
We all give our little slip to Mr. Roglieri. He comprises a list. Nobody knows who's who.
But
We
it's
all
public
just go out.
record.
It's
You
public
can't,
record.
it's public record.
Yes.
Anytime you hand
No,
it
they will
over.
have the list, but they don't have
No,
to
no,
know
no, it's
that
public
you
record.
chose who.
It,
and
no,
who
but
you
it's
chose.
public record, that's
It's
what you're
public
missing out on.
record.
So-
It's
As
public
soon
record.
as soon as this piece of paper touches
Goes-
his hand, it
it's
is
public
now
record.
a public
Okay,
record, and
fine.
tomorrow morning,
Fine.
somebody
That's
can say,
fine.
I wanna
It
know who
doesn't-
chose
what-
who.
what does it
Okay,
matter?
that's fine. I don't care if people know who I'm
Yeah.
selecting,
Selecting.
but we'll all give Joe our little slip. He'll publish it. We'll all have it. We can
Didn't
start
say she
making
could
our
talk.
interviews. Because some of the people are not,
I
I like your idea about the telephone because there are a few qualified people that don't live in Miami.
Yeah.
You know what?
Okay.
I thought tonight we were gonna kind of figure it out how we're gonna
Somebody?
pick the city manager.
That's
Are you gonna stay inside based on the need of the city, or we feel like we're gonna go outside? I
No,
think
you know,
We-
you
we-
cannot,
we
you
can-
cannot.
We can discuss it.
Huh?
No,
we can
no, no,
Inside or
no, no.
outside?
That-
I'm lost.
No, you can't
What you
discuss
mean?
that. That-
Why not?
Hmm?
Huh?
Why not? when else do you get to discuss it?
No,
Again,
we don't.
it's the
Huh?
same
Oh,
as the
that's what you mean,
attorney.
in-house?
You
We
know,
can decide that.
this is the only time we
I
get
can
together.
decide if I
Oh.
feel like, based on the need
They're
of
gonna
the
make a
city,
motion right now.
based on what I'm looking for in the city manager, I wanna go outside the city.
Fine with me.
Yeah, but
Outside.
but that's you. These are your
But he's
criteria.
saying
No,
we
I'm
could
talking about
discuss it with the
discussions.
body.
That's I thought that's what we were gonna discussing.
Can I say something, Mr. Mayor?
Mm.
My recommendation again is giving the name to Joe. I thought it would have been based on Councilman Galvin's first initial question, that the public, and part of me being transparent, I'm thinking that this would be a public interview that we'll be scheduling here. So the fact that you won't know who, we gave Joe a list of one day next week or in the next 2 weeks. We schedule it here from 8 to 5 after people, just like they did with the attorney. We have questions, we ask the person, and then we talk about it, and then we make our decision, at our next meeting before next 2 weeks. That's what I thought. That's transparent, it's open, it's up to the public, but it's basically the same thing. But I don't mind doing it privately also.
Yeah, I have to
you know.
reveal. I have to reveal the fact that I will not be here, because I'll be gone for the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Yeah,
When is
When's
that?
that?
all of next week. That's starting the 19th, right?
So out of
Cool.
fairness to the mayor, can we extend it then that, I mean, we don't, is there that big of a rush that we have to make a decision 2 weeks from tonight that we can't make 4 weeks from tonight?
Or you could call a special meeting if it's that important.
No,
I
4
mean,
weeks from tonight is fine. I mean, 4 weeks from tonight is fine.
Special meetings.
That's
No,
fair.
but it's-
No?
Okay. Okay, so
There's
are
no
we in
di-
agreement?
direction. We have 61 applications.
Are
We're gonna
we-
choose a city manager.
Yeah.
Guys, like you scared of
I
choosing.
think we need to
We have
submit
to
some
get it
names so we all.
what we wanna do
Can't
for
we
the
just
city.
like
I
submit
could
so we all
choose
match?
tonight.
Wait,
It doesn't
try
matter.
to play, give
Can't we
time.
just each
Guys,
submit
you
three
see what
people?
happens when we don't just follow what's already been established in the past? Why don't we do what we did with the attorney? Why don't we select a citizens committee, vet
Oh.
those down, and
No.
recommend back to the council so that there's order and process?
But we
No,
did
because
that and
And
it
we didn't
failed.
like this.
failed.
there's-
But
we
that's
didn't
only
like
because we chose that it would fail.
Okay, it's gonna be the same.
Okay.
No, we
I-
didn't.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so by
I don't think the people, the citizens know, I want to have the knowledge of who this person is. I don't want that person on that corner saying, oh, I like him, he should be your
Yeah.
manager. I'm hiring my manager, I don't need the public out there to tell me. They can make comments on it, but they're not going to interview the manager because they don't know what I need to know and what I need to discuss and what I need from my manager. They don't get it unless you're
agree.
sitting here dealing with it. So someone, a committee just, to me, is
Yeah.
worthless. Same thing with an attorney.
okay, so so the
Committee
final.
is worthless.
I think the
It
final,
was last time.
Yes.
It really
from what I
wasn't.
can, from
No, it got us some good candidates.
I think one of the plausible things that we can do is, like we've been saying, each of us go through the list and we decide which ones that we would like to interview. We submit that list to Joe, and then Joe will arrange for the interviews, and that's it. So at the end, if there is a total of maybe 20, 25, I may decide I'm only going to interview 18 of them,
Oh, no.
16 of them.
But that means I have to interview you 16.
Huh?
That means I have
No,
to
you
interview
don't have
16.
to.
So, but how would
You-
we come
you
to a
don't necessarily
consensus?
No, because you will make your decision based on the review of the applications and credentials. If you interview 8, I interview 6,
Yeah.
and then we bring it, and then we come up to a consensus to bring that subtotal forward and then for us to vote on. That's it.
No, but Mr. Mayor, that's a lot.
Hmm?
I'm
No,
telling
but
you,
it's
that
not going to be that many.
it's a recipe for mess.
Yep.
Hmm?
Yes, it is.
You're gonna
We
choose 10, I'm gonna
have
choose
to-
7, and then
exactly.
how do we know who's
Who's
got?
choosing
Yeah,
what?
we
but
all
I-
have to
no,
interview
but-
everybody else.
but at the very end, when
Three, or we can
the
each pick
when it
five.
comes
Yeah, pick
time.
5. I was saying
I
3,
think
but
al-
5 is okay.
everybody already review all the applications.
Yeah, but
It's
Can-
been
Well,
there
I
for
haven't
3
reviewed it.
weeks.
I
can
haven't
I,
reviewed
okay,
anything.
can I make a motion, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
I make a motion that we select 4 people to give to the personnel director,
Mhm.
and then within 2 weeks, we do it, well, I won't
You mean
even,
before next meeting?
well, no, because you said you'll be out, so just the interview process, and then we could
You
decide.
can you're not gonna be there for the next council meeting? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be here for
Yeah.
the next
Don't do
council
that.
meeting, but I won't be here
Be
to
here
interview them
for
face to
interview.
face.
We don't, I
Councilman,
don't wanna do interview.
I would second your motion, but I'd like a time, like, can we do this by Friday?
What
That's
is it?
fine.
You mean to
To submit
our
4
list?
names to our
We could do
personnel
that tomorrow, tonight.
No, not tonight.
Okay, why don't we just,
Give me through Monday.
Monday's better, that gives us a weekend to really go through.
No,
the
Monday is
sub-
a holiday, so
Monday's a holiday, that's correct.
To Friday?
Tuesday.
Yes.
So Tuesday, we'll each submit 4 names.
can we submit by email?
Yeah.
Why not?
Absolutely.
Okay. so
Email is perfect.
Okay.
Councilman DeSalme, I want to thank you for making that motion to standardize the process. By everybody submitting 4, you're standardizing the process. The next step I would ask you to take now is to come up with a number of how many votes or how many nominations each name would have to then be interviewed. In other words, if
No.
let me just say that, let's set the framework for you. All of you are submitting 4 names.
That's
That's
20.
potentially 20 different names.
Mhm.
Unlikely to be 20 different names. More likely, you're going to have the same 2 or 3
Didn't,
across the board.
That's
When
what
you
we
look at the
said.
resumes, as Councilwoman Keys said, it's obvious there's 40, 50 who are not qualified.
yes.
So we're talking about 10 or 15 that are the top 10 or 15. In that top 10 or 15, you're coming up with 4. Let me just finish, please. What the committee did, the committee took a majority of for the city attorney process. So if 3 out of 5 of you pick the same name, do you want that one included? Or do you
No.
want potentially all 20?
Okay, Mr. R. Whatever name that we give you, if it's 20 different names, we interviewing 20 different people.
no, we
Good.
don't,
If that's what you
if,
want.
if we,
If
if
it doesn't
this is our
match,
desire to
that's
do
what I'm
so,
saying. But
Okay.
whatever name you give, you may give him 4.
I may give you 1.
Yeah, he may give you 1, so that'd even be
But
better.
it's always going to be in the purview of
Yes.
the council person to interview or not to interview.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
exactly.
Okay.
So it
Good.
doesn't matter if they
Alright.
qualify or not. If one of us give you the name,
Mhm.
that's who you will
Okay.
be calling, and that, thank you.
That's it.
So the motion
you.
that I have on the floor, Mayor, is a motion made by Councilman Desmay. It's the motion to submit 4 names to the Personnel
Not 4
Director
names,
by
a
Tuesdays.
maximum of 4 names.
No, yeah, maximum of.
Okay.
Assuming.
Let me repeat that. Motion to submit a maximum of 4 names to the Personnel Director by Tuesday. That motion was made by
From the
Councilman
61
Desmay.
applicants.
I know that's obvious, but let me.
If I bring you 4 names from outside of
No,
the,
it's
of the list.
Make sure number 4 is one of your Powerballs.
Okay, so let me repeat that. Let me include Councilman Bienamay's amendments. It's a motion to submit a maximum of 4 names to the Personnel Director by Tuesday. Names shall be from the list that already exists. Is that valid, Councilman Bieneme?
But we don't have any other
That's what I'm saying.
resumes.
Yeah.
I
So
may
why
give
would
him
you
4
even put,
names. I may give him 4 resumes.
where would you
from
get that
outside.
from?
Barack Obama's out of a job in a few months. I might nominate
You,
him.
you don't have that resume, Councilman
What do you
Galvin.
mean? I may
I
have
Googled
it.
him.
No, in North Miami. Okay,
Okay,
that's
so-
fine.
So this was the motion. So again, let me repeat the motion. Motion to submit a maximum of 4 names to the Personnel Director by Tuesday. Name,
And these are the people who applied up to what date?
right, name shall
Up
be
to
from
what
the
date?
list that already exists. Because there's
The third- yeah.
61
people that already exist.
That applied up to what date?
What do you mean?
I don't.
January
It's
just
from
for the
when
first
it was
61.
last day.
It was closed on the
Applications that were submitted up to what date?
No,
I think January 3rd or something like
That's
that.
what I'm asking. I'm
Hold
saying,
on, it's the list of 61. I think it was closed. When was it closed?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's closed. They don't
Jesus
have no-
Christ.
No, I
I'm
understand,
asking
yeah.
one simple question. Can somebody answer it?
What date did the
Okay, that's it.
It's
Thank
31st
you.
or January 3rd?
No.
31st.
No.
I think the original.
No.
This is
We open
December
it until
31st.
January
We
3rd.
extended it to the 31st to
That's
Or
go to the end of the
31st?
month.
Or not the 3rd, okay. I wanna make sure. Because I
Now you see why I do ask questions?
I do.
Initially, you may not understand, but slowly
Yeah,
but
yeah.
surely you get it.
So am I gonna include the 31st on this motion, or, okay, let me repeat the motion, you tell me where you want me to include that language. To submit, a motion to submit a maximum of 4 names to the Personnel Director by Tuesday. Names shall be from the list that already exists. What do you want me to include?
No, but
When you say
because
already exists, the
list
position
from
closed on the
RFP number,
31st.
this
You guys
and
wanna
that, and
change
that's
the
it.
motion or
No.
keep it the same?
the
doesn't
list
matter.
from RFP number so and so,
Yeah.
whatever. Mm.
Okay, so the names shall be from the list from RFP.
Number.
It-
Yes, yeah.
It
What's
wasn't
the
an
RFP?
RFP. It was an
RFQ?
application. Yeah. it
List
was an
of
application.
applications, please sit down. List of applications that came in by December 31st.
Names shall be from the list
Mm.
of applications that came
Mm.
in by December 31st.
That's it.
2015.
Oh, there you go.
December 31st,
You should not
2015.
January 3rd,
No.
2016.
Okay. They're laughing, but I need to make sure we have a good record, folks. All right, let's take it seriously. So tab K is this. It's a motion to submit a maximum of 4 names to the Personnel Director by Tuesday. Names shall be from the list of applications that came by December 31st, 2015. Did I get that correct?
Correct.
That motion was made by Councilman Desmay. It was seconded by Councilwoman Keys. Did I get that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay?
Item passes 4-1. Tab L, discussion regarding the annual rotation of the vice mayor from among the city council, among the council members in accordance with section 13 of the City of North Miami Charter, providing for assignment and designation of vice mayor in the following order: District 1, District 2, District 3, and District 4. Yes. Yes.
Effective, you mean tonight we have to change?
Yes, I believe it does change tonight, sir.
It just changed tonight? Okay, so we live in District 2 now.
That would be, as a point of order, District 1.
Hmm?
District 1.
I'm district.
Are you 1 or 2?
I'm 2.
Yeah, but in the last discussion we had, wasn't there something that
Well,
we discussed that would be deferred to you or to you, Alex? Or
It was supposed to
Yeah, it
be
was
to
supposed
me.
to be Alex.
deferred, huh?
I think it was supposed to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
there-
supposed to be me, but I think I deferred to
You let it
District 1.
continue to,
Yeah, let it continue until May, until December, so that Vice Mayor Keys will have a full year. But I would not
We
mind.
will have a full year.
Yeah, so I would not mind skipping, I guess, me going to Councilman Galvin, and then you saying next year would be 3?
Oh, so you want to start
Who's
anew
there
now
now?
with District 1?
Well, I'm going by the last resolution, which was resolution number 2015 R83. It does establish an order after the Vice Mayor Keys' term. Then it would fall on District 1, 2,
Oh,
3, and 4 consecutively.
Makes sense that doesn't make sense that it would go back to me after first. I thought
Yeah.
we were starting, since I was 2, that we were going to
4.
3, 4, 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, because technically I was supposed to be the Vice Mayor, and I give it back
Right.
to Keys. But since Councilman Galvin hasn't been Vice Mayor for a while,
Then we agreed
I
that
don't
he
mind.
would be
Yeah,
next.
he would be next.
But he still will during his
No,
term.
We'll
What-
skip you next time.
Yeah, it will be, it will be skipped next
You'll-
year.
You will go from Galvin
To-
the
to-
District
to-
We
one.
can't do that. 'cause
We
gotta
can't
follow
do
the
that?
resolution.
I say we select 4 names each.
Which?
Huh?
Guys, we like that.
Yeah,
It's really up to the majority. I mean,
Yeah.
it's within
So
your
just
purview
have
to select the
make
Vice
the
Mayor.
motion
How
and
about the
second
mayor
the
chooses the
motion.
vice mayor?
oh,
It's
Well,
set
that's the way
by
it's been actually for several years, which is why I haven't been it since.
so, can we make a motion?
Absolutely, you
can,
can make a
okay.
motion for
Because
the next
what's-
Vice Mayor. It's within your purview.
No, because sir, the way you're going would be next year, it'll be Carol again.
No,
No,
that's
you
correct.
can
That-
say
that-
Yeah.
that anytime.
That's
Just
No,
what
no,
make
no,
sure
no,
it
no,
every
no, no.
time.
I understand, no, but that's the problem. I know we could change any time, but unless we have a systematic way of doing
There's no
things,
systematic way you the
So-
governing you vote.
But,
then the
Councilman,
resolution.
Councilman,
Only in the
if-
first,
if we
only
go-
if we do that, it's only going to be like this for the first round.
If we go,
Then-
if we go, but if we go to
Yeah.
3, then Councilman DeSumi will get it one more time while he's still in office.
That-
Otherwise, he
that
won't
is
get
true.
it at all.
Yeah.
Then we go back to
Yeah.
Councilman Galvin, who will be in office. I will not
Skip.
be.
Yeah, she would not be in office.
I will
So
not-
you want Desulme today,
Yeah, I
and
think
then
so.
Galvin.
That's what we decided.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
And
but-
So-
we originally decided
But
that.
he say he
and
don't want it, he's gonna turn
and
it
he
to
just-
hold on,
Galvin.
hold on.
That's what we
Galvin, would you-
decided, but he decided to,
That's what I'm
So
saying.
Wait
yield it
till the
to
end.
Galvin.
To Galvin.
no, he
He's
decided
yielding
to,
it to Galvin.
he
No, no.
decided to wait until today,
Yes.
to extend it
And
for 6 months.
Okay.
That is true. So now I'm asking you,
you do what you want.
Mr. Attorney, can we work it out where if I yield to Galvin this year, if we could at least work out a schedule within the next few years, at least to where all of us have an opportunity, and then we'll start this rotation, to be fair.
I would recommend
Mhm.
that I bring before you
Yes.
at the next meeting a brand-new resolution which repeals the old resolution.
Okay.
And now you can tell me which order, commencing, at
That's,
the
That's
adoption
fine.
of the next resolution, which order you would like, and I will bring before
that's why
you
we
a
make,
brand-new
we make
resolution.
things difficult. Why don't someone make a motion, we second it, and we vote
Okay.
tonight?
I'll
And
motion
it's
that,
done.
I'll motion that the new vice mayor as of tonight be Alex DeSume.
I
I
was
said,
gonna
I
motion-
second that.
I was gonna
And
motion
it's
it's him.
that's it. That's it. You are the best
They're
mayor.
making things
Jesus
turn.
Christ. Okay.
Okay, now we go to reports.
Well, we gotta vote on that, folks.
We-
This is,
We already
we
did
vote.
it, man. Come
All
on.
in
No,
favor,
no.
we say fine.
All in favor, say
Aye.
aye.
motion was made by,
Citizens Forum is now open.
Mayor, I really gotta get the votes in. though.
You already did.
I didn't get the motion the second. I have to write it down and
I
put it in the
second
minutes.
it.
So the motion was made by who?
I'll make the motion.
The motion was made by Councilman
And then Philip
Galvin
and I seconded.
to appoint Councilman Desmay as vice mayor. And that motion was seconded by Councilman Bieneme. Okay, and you guys already voted. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's 5-0. I got the record, Mayor. It's the record. We got it.
Oh, God.
You may be heard now,
Stefania's
ma'am.
back up.
Sylvia Mayolo, 100 North 124th Street. I think beside to pay taxes, what is our right? Because we pay for everything. Look at the people here. We live in a planet Earth. We have all kinds of people, all kinds of religion, all kinds of culture. And I think it's time to start to respect any kind of people, any kind of culture. There are Chinese, there are Arab, there are South American, there are Mexican, there are people from the Scandinavian. Can you mix a little bit the panel? And when you have to choose for an attorney, or when you have to choose for a city manager, can you choose somebody who can apport different culture and different thinking, and not to be all together on the same rhythm? I will appreciate if you consider that we are not second people. We are all the same. And when you choose next time, I like to see more colors all over, like the people we come here. I will appreciate. Thank you.
Citizens Forum is still open.
John Porter, 340 Northeast 131st Street. I just want to speak briefly about the townhouse project that was approved. I'm not sure if anyone is aware. I wasn't even aware until the conversation was already happening, and I wasn't sworn in, so I couldn't speak on it. But that property happens to have probably one of the oldest houses in North Miami on that property. It's also a house that has coral rock. So destroying that house and replacing it with, you know, box townhouses that look like government housing is really a tragedy. I don't know what can be done at this point, or if that house could be moved or preserved or integrated into their plan in any kind of way, but drive by the property and you're gonna see it. It's a piece of our history, it's a piece of the culture of this community, and it's really sad to see that demolished for some cookie cutter townhouses. Thank you.
Hi, along those lines, my name is Ileana. I live in 849 Northeast 121st Street. I also just became aware of the exact location of that proposed development. Northeast 121st Street is a very nice street. On one side, there's Bisping Park, which has the log cabins, which they take care to preserve. On the north side, we have very few historical properties. That property that we're gonna demolish, if things go as planned, is one of the historical houses that we have left in North Miami. And I really would like you guys to see, before you guys vote on new developments, to really know what the property looks like, the existing property, and take it into consideration, because it's a tragedy that this just got passed without, I don't think any of you really having gone to look at the property and realizing that it's a historical gem. Thank you.
Laura Hill, 13075 Griffin Boulevard. I wanted to comment on the pesticide issue. As Councilman Bieneme said, our neighborhood is no longer going to be sprayed with pesticide. About 2 months ago, in December, we requested through public records what pesticides we're using here in North Miami, and during the Christmas holiday, I took it upon myself to research them extensively. And some of them are benign, but some of them aren't. Azatran has shown to cause a lot of damage to people's health. Another one is chlorophorus, and the EPA is currently deciding whether to ban it all around. And then there's one other one that a lot of jurisdictions are suing the company for contaminating their groundwater. This is a major health risk. We have a very good opportunity, again, to lead the way. I know my neighborhood is grateful that we're no longer going to have these issues. One of the pesticides actually shows to give developmental delays to children and may cause, there's reason to suspect it causes miscarriages and problems with fertility. My neighborhood isn't going to have to worry about that anymore, but there's the rest of our city, and I'm sure there's other neighborhoods that want the same thing. So next week, I will be dropping by a packet of information to each council person with a bunch of research on all of the pesticides, insecticides, and fungicides, and I will also be dropping off about 60-page booklet on native plants that don't require any of these pesticides. So I'll be asking you to sponsor a ordinance against pesticides for all of North Miami. Thank you.
There is a breaking news from Yahoo. Says that St. Louis Rams were just granted approval to move back to Los
North
Angeles
Miami?
area.
Oh. Oh.
Don't say I didn't tell you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Howard Tonkin, 12600 Griffin Boulevard. That's my home. I'm also a business owner in North Miami, which is something I've never said before. This is the T-shirt from my business. This is the front. That's the back. I mention this, and I'm dressed so casually tonight, because code enforcement is forcing my clients to take down my yard signs. This hurts a small business. I had a very big client that almost bailed on the contract today because they were afraid of code enforcement coming by photographing them yesterday. I have another client who's upset because code enforcement's coming by looking at them. Now, this stems from this situation going on the NOMI app when it's this battling of residents in my neighborhood. And I wonder what's going on because I don't have this problem in Coconut Grove or North Bay Village or Miami Shores or Biscayne Park or Fort Lauderdale or any other city. The only city that I have problems with my signs is North Miami. And I wonder what's the difference. Well, the difference is I stood up here and stopped a park being sold by the Lucy Tondro era for $4,000. Subsequently, I have requested that the piece of land stolen across the river by the same people, the half an acre of public land that I've been asking for the fence to be removed for a year. So subsequently to that, I just got a piece of my land given to my neighbor as punishment, I suppose. And I've had 4 death threats. And I mention this tonight because I thought when Aleem Ghani was gone that the group of people from the Griffin Park Estates gravy train would back off, but they're not. So I'm asking you, please, to not harass my business further. It's just a little yard sign. I'm an environmental activist who's also running a business. I'm really doing the work that you guys should be doing, but you're planting medjool date palms and crotons and all the rest of it. So if you could please just cut my business a break and know that a small business, each little thing that happens to a small business does affect the small business. Thank you.
Public hearing, Citizens Forum is still open, but I see no one coming, so Citizens Forum is closed. Now we move to reports from the council members.
Happy New Year, everyone. On a sad note, I'd like to wish condolences to our Public Works Director, Whistler Pierre, whose father passed away this week. So our prayers are with him. I know he's not with us this evening. I'd like to announce that I'm having a town hall meeting January 25th at 6:30 at the Gwen Margolis Center. I hope everybody will attend to let me know what your concerns and ideas are regarding projects or any services that you would like to see from the city with regard to my District 2 or the entire city. I am here to represent everyone, so I hope to see everybody on January 25th. There will be more announcements in an email. That was it. However, I want to thank Laura Hill and company for doing that research. I know you've been working on the pesticides a long time. It took a while, and I applaud you for giving us that information. And absolutely, if it's good for one district, again, this is an entire city, and I am very against pesticides. In fact, one of the neighbors said, "Oh, we want to be sprayed. We have mosquitoes." And I'm thinking, why do you want to get bug spray all over your, they did that to me when I was a kid. They gassed us. So I applaud you. Thank you for helping us with that, and I'm absolutely on board to eliminate any harsh pesticides in our city or any other environmental atrocities. Thank you.
I guess I'm next. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd also like to note a passing. I don't like to do it, but a great friend of the North Miami community passed away this week, Alana Burdick, who was one of the founding members of the Arch Creek East Neighborhood Association there, 135th Street east of Biscayne, former president of that organization, active in many different local religious and civic organizations, a business owner in her own right locally. She passed away suddenly over the weekend, and so we want to send our condolences to the Burdick family. Services haven't yet been announced, but we'll make sure that the Arch Creek East Neighborhood Association posts information on their Facebook and social media pages when that becomes available. But I certainly want to send our regards to Mrs. Burdick. I got a really fun picture in the mail, switching gears here a little bit, from the mom of somebody I went to high school with. This came in the mail today. It's a picture of the North Miami Senior High School West facade in about the year 1986, and it's being painted with a pioneer and little, pioneer stress, male and female pioneer. But she sent this and said, please make sure you give this to the North Miami Historical Society, and I will do that. Now, segue, ladies and gentlemen, the house on 121st Street, North Miami does not have its own historical designation. If it is not already designated by the county, there's nothing that can be done yet. So the Greater North Miami Historical Society could certainly use some help amongst its ranks. They meet the first Monday of every month at 7 p.m. at First Church of North Miami on 135th Street and Northeast 12th. Please come on by, bring your friends. They're going to be playing a role in the city's 90th anniversary that we're now entering into, but their ranks, we formed the organization in 1997. It's thinned over the years, so we could certainly use some new bodies if you are so interested, and creating North Miami's own historical board with historical designation powers is something we've long dreamed of and never just been able to carry across the finish line. So I'll follow up on that Coral Rock home, but I'm willing to bet it's already under contract. If so, there's nothing any of us can do except appeal to the greater natures of those developers and see if they're willing to, like you said, incorporate it somehow into their plans. So I'll follow up on that. But please, folks, join the Historical Society. Laura suggested sending us reports and pages on pesticides. I don't need to see them. If we could just administratively apply to District 1 what you've applied to District 3 with no pesticides, I ask that you do that without our having to do that, send that information. If you do feel that we need to have a resolution or some sort of ordinance doing that, just ask Laura to email you the information, and you can include it electronically in our documents since we're being environmentally friendly. Don't ask her to print off 60 pages times 5 and hand them over to us. I think that's all that I've got tonight. Don't forget, everybody, our Martin Luther King Remembrance event is tomorrow, Wednesday, January the 13th at 6 p.m. right here in the Mocha Courtyard. It's one of the things I'm proud to say has started in North Miami in my tenure. We'll gather with a candlelight vigil and remember the teachings, remember the legacy of the great Martin Luther King Jr. So please join us tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Mr. Mayor, that's all I've got.
Thank you. Mr. Councilman Desulme?
I have no report, Mr. Mayor. I just want to wish everyone a happy, prosperous, healthy new year. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Bien-Aimé?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. And I think 2 weeks ago, City of North Miami Beach have passed a resolution about decriminalize marijuana. And I would like to see the same resolution in the city, since by the end of this year, most likely marijuana will be legal throughout the state. We don't know what's the voters gonna vote on, but decriminalize the use of marijuana from a criminal charge to a civil citation, I think is gonna help our young residents in the city of North Miami, those who is affected by the use of marijuana, and right now they can go to college or get a good job. And I think in 2 weeks, Mr. Galdos, we spoke about it last year, and I want you to bring it up on the next council and to pass a similar resolution about marijuana. And I think Councilman Galvin been echo that situation for a long time, and you even been talking about zoning, and if he pass the amendment in November, and I think we need to start working on it then. But next in 2 weeks, if he can come up with that resolution. And secondly, and in November, I take the challenge of living with $15 an hour, and in less than a week, I couldn't live with $15 an hour. And I think in the city of North Miami, we're still using $8 as the minimum wage. And I don't know if staff can explore the possibility to come up with another resolution in the city of North Miami to raise the minimum wage for full-time employee from $8 to $15 an hour. I'm talking about full-time employees, not contractors, not part-time employees.
I would dis-
And for full-time employee, but I was suggesting that we said $15 an hour for employee that been working for the city for at least 1 year or more, to get $15 an hour minimum wage. Those are the two things. If you can come up with it, I don't know if the council and wish to vote on it.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, may I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, 2 points, Mr. Galdos. First and foremost, we did have an email which it's a little bit more in depth in reference to the legalization of marijuana. There's a little bit more into the legislation, and it's North Miami Beach, and it's something that is being worked. I didn't know, and you tell me legally, are we supposed to reference legislation that wouldn't that consider, or is it?
Well,
what is
the decriminalization.
No. My question to you is, if I'm thinking of a piece of legislation, legally, should I, before it come forward, should I talk about it, or is it because that would not be a sunshine, since we up here that's going to be voting on the particular matter knows in before? How does that work?
What you think?
No, this is for him.
But your question is, your discussion of proposed
Any
legislation?
particular legislation. Let's just say I'm thinking about something for next meeting.
Yeah, no, you could offer it publicly or by email. It's still a public record.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
No. What I'm saying is, it wouldn't be a sunshine violation if we cannot communicate, as long as if I'm thinking about an item, for example, since he mentioned that particular legislation regarding the minimum wage, I may have some. Isn't that a sunshine before it's
Well,
actually?
right now it's in the
legal?
public. It's open to the public.
It's
so
public
it's not-
record.
Yes, sir. It's
Okay.
not a open discussion at a public meeting. Does not violate the sunshine because
Perfect.
it's on the record and
Okay.
it's done publicly. Yes, sir.
Okay, can you brief us on the legislation that we are working on? Perhaps Councilman Benemy and Galvin, we could get co-signers, because it's a little bit
Yes.
different than just the legalization of marijuana. It's
Right.
a little bit more in depth about it.
Yeah, and for the record, yes, you were also very much interested in proposing a legislation for the city of North Miami. I'd like to say that the legalization of 20 grams or less of cannabis has been decriminalized by Miami-Dade County, and it's applicable to unincorporated and incorporated areas.
Exactly.
That penalty's already set. It's $100. You will not go to jail for holding, say, 15 grams of cannabis. That is imposed by and
The
preempted by the county. What we could do is
No.
bring the enforcement. That's a different side of this.
That's what yes.
It's to bring in-house the enforcement of such violation.
Yes.
And that's what North Miami Beach has done. They
Yes.
right now it's like a civil. It's almost like a traffic violation. It goes to the county, and they prosecute it for a fee. Or we could pass our own ordinance, and then it becomes a code enforcement violation, and the county has nothing to do with it. And that's the distinction between one and
Absolutely,
the other.
and
Yes,
which
sir.
is my piece of legislation that's coming forward next meeting.
If we can combine both.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to bring in the same misdemeanor, which now currently exists. Obviously, if you're holding more than 20 grams, it's criminal. If it's 20 grams or less, then it becomes pretty much a civil.
Yes, mine.
Well, I have the Miami-Dade County Code here. We can discuss it further.
Exactly.
To bring in, what we cannot do is reset a penalty that's already been.
That's already
imposed by
been.
the county.
Yes. So my intent is not to do whatever the county already done. My intent is on the other side to bring in our own magistrate in-house, where folks who are being held within our police department are subject to North Miami versus the county. Thank you.
And I can't promise you're going to get it in 2 weeks, because that is something that I have to set. Actually, there's already an exchange between myself, the city manager, and the police chief to see how we're going to bring this in-house so that we have a process, a procedure in place, once we pass the
And
ordinance.
would that work if the offender is pulled over or discovered or caught by a Miami-Dade County cop?
Yeah.
Well, if it's Miami-Dade County Police, it all depends where they were stopped.
No,
and all that.
in not Miami.
Well, I would have to look at all that. If that police officer then, makes the arrest or issues the citation, it'll likely go through the county. So this would be if our police officers were to make a stop and then find the amounts.
That's mean if someone been stopped by our police department,
Right.
it's gonna be handled in-house by
In-house,
special
once
magistrate.
once we adopt the ordinance.
I see the attorney, Michael, you wanna,
You got to remember, Weldon is a city attorney, but you're talking about criminal matters here. First of all, marijuana in the state of Florida is still illegal. Nothing has been decriminalized. Officers can still arrest you for being in possession of marijuana. Up to 20 gram is a misdemeanor. Above 20 gram is a felony. What the county has done, he has given the officers the discretion where they said, we don't want to go ahead and penalize you. We're not going to criminalize you for it. We're going to fine you for it. But I don't want people, North Miami residents, to think that you can legally smoke weed. And what is on the what's on the ballot will be for medical marijuana approval, not legalization
that's
of
totally
marijuana.
different.
It's two.
So just know that it's not legal to smoke marijuana, but what North Miami Beach did, what Miami Beach did, what the county did. Look, I just got a client 2 days ago who was arrested for being in possession of marijuana in Dade County. But what they're doing, instead of taking them to jail, like Councilman Biedeme said, they're writing them fines,
Yeah, fines,
which
Yes.
is a better idea.
No,
But just-
okay, just to clarify, that's the exact same reason I think it's very prudent that we be careful when we talk about legislation, the research on that there. If we attend something that we're gonna, let's get, because what you said is exactly right, and the county already have it. My intent is just to focus on bringing in-house special magistrate that could talk about our cases that we have within our department. Thank you.
Rest assured, Councilman, that any legislation that I propose before this body will be fully vetted, not only
That's-
the county, but the state and the federal government, so
Thank
that
you.
if there's ever challenged, we can prevail.
Thank you.
All right.
And Roland is one of the best city attorneys in the county, by the way. I just thought y'all should know.
but we didn't address the $15 minimum wage. Are we agree on that? And are you gonna?
I was told there's already a report from staff, but I've never seen it. Seriously.
What Councilman Galvin is referring to is a report that addresses $15 minimum wage throughout the whole city. I know Councilman Bieneme is referring to full-time employees. What it does, it would have to be something that's addressed in the new budget cycle, because it will, do an
Impact.
increase to salaries.
Yeah, but I don't know by how much.
That's what they.
We have the number that we did do was for part-timers.
No, we did.
also.
We
do
don't want
full-time only.
part-timers. We
This-
want full-time employee with, for at least 1 year.
Well,
and the
well,
city.
Why don't
council,
we-
I would
This
include.
is the report
Yes.
time, so why don't we reserve that as discussion, at the meeting?
I'll have the
Okay.
report, we'll
Yeah.
have the report sent out to everyone.
Okay, you were gonna say something.
And I don't think
That's
it's,
fine.
well, my
Okay.
only, take, in that is that I don't think it would be fair
No.
to exclude, part-time employees
They
to
need it
only do
more
it
than
for
the full-time.
full-time. I
No,
think
no.
they need.
Mr. Mayor, the
That's-
reason why I say that, and I remember last time when Councilman Scott Galvin brought it on the table, right? Those, by state regulations, some community service or community center, someone need to be there for the time being. That's when we're not gonna cut on times in order to give the other employees the position. And for me personally, I think it's fair for the full-time employees to be at 50, like the city of New York just passed it. You're a full-time employee, you get $15 an hour. But if we're gonna extend it to contractors, people who are gonna come in and out for 2-3 months that are out of control, That's my proposal.
Yeah, but I think we would have to get a report not only
What are we
from
doing?
from
Why-
Mr. R. No,
why
I know,
doing a
just,
discussion?
you're right. No, I know it's 11 o'clock, but he's, well, but Mr. Mayor, I understand that, but these things have to be done not only in public to avoid sunshine, but the personnel director, because we are under a contract, so you do have certain things that you can and can't do. We cannot even give employees a turkey. So we already have a bargaining unit that we voted on. So so we got to look at the whole thing. Let's wait for the report and see where we could move forward from
Which
that.
whole thing you're talking about?
Your
With
$15 an
your
hour
bargaining
proposal.
units,
Yeah.
you can't
do
just
that.
give somebody a raise because now.
I'm
They
not gonna tell you
gladly
just-
reopen their contract to accept a raise. So let's you know.
Okay. Can I do my report now? I was made aware that we do have a judge in the audience, right? He's a judge from Haiti, from one of the cities in Haiti. What's his name? Okay, George Lubin Jacques-André, I ask you to stand up so you may be recognized. Welcome among us. Also, well, I don't have much to say except that on the passing of Whistler Pierre's father, I send him and his entire family my condolences, and it's a sad moment. We should be there for him in every capacity. And I'm just excited about the new science.
Mesidor, I think Officer Mesidor.
Yeah, Officer
mother.
Mesidor's his mother passed away as well. So my sincere condolences to his family. So we do have a science project, as you saw at the beginning of this meeting. Dr. Holder is going to be bringing per my request, she's going to be bringing some science project in the city of North Miami. She's been doing it for quite some years in other communities, and then I say, why not Miami? So please spread the word out there. Any parents who have a kid who you want him or her to be exposed to medical science, please let my office know so we can get them in our first class. And I believe this is our first meeting for the entire of the year. So Happy New Year, everyone! And I hope that each and one of you have a New Year's resolution. I'm going to lose 5 pounds in the next 3 months. That's my New Year's resolution. And why are you looking at me like this?
Not much to lose.
I don't have much to lose. So that's pretty much it. I believe that we're going to have a very fruitful and productive year in the city of North Miami. So thank you very much for being here, and I think Mr. Desulme has something else to say.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, excellent program, but can we get at least a memo from staff regarding the requirements so that we could at least pass it on to residents of how the program going to take place and what are the requirements? So
for
we
the
could-
science program, you
Yes,
mean?
sir.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
staff.
we will get that. We are working
Okay.
on it. We'll get that in the next couple of weeks. So I will forward it to the manager, and he'll do the rest. City Attorney?
Yes, sir. Pursuant to Section 286.11 Florida statutes, I respectfully and hereby request 2 separate executive sessions, one regarding the litigation between the City of North Miami and North Miami Cleaners, and the second executive session regarding Mr. Jose Triana versus the City of North Miami. These 2 items are in full litigation, and I hereby, again, respectfully request that in the near future, we will be scheduling executive sessions to discuss litigation strategy and settlement.
Can both of them be on the same session?
We would, no, they're not, because they're separate parties, so we will stagger them. And they have to be duly noticed and all that, so. Yes, it could be the same day, but we would open and close and open and close. Yes, sir.
On that note, Mr. Attorney, just to be on the record, it is clear, or it's my understanding, any matter dealing with EEOC that we cannot get involved. Is that correct? If the matter
Well,
is still pending?
yeah, exactly, if the matter was still pending, yes. None of these matters are EOC.
Even
but
if it's
yes.
against us?
It's usually against the city.
I know. So
Mhm.
how, that's what I want to, so how we can't get involved if it's against us?
How can you get involved in?
How can I, how,
How can you get involved if
how
it's?
can I not get involved if it's against me?
Why are we prohibited?
Yeah, prohibit if it's against me.
On an EOC matter?
Mm-hmm.
If it's pending, no, we can discuss it on a one-to-one, but it cannot be discussed. Executive sessions are allowed when it's in litigation.
I understand. My question is, if it's against the city, which is the five of us, how we are not entitled to respond or to say anything about it?
You're not, unless there's an executive session and it's in litigation. If you're referring to a previous matter, that was not litigation, that was mediation, and it's, that's what made it confidential.
No, not, it's not even that. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you,
On the
sir.
record. Thank
Mr.
you.
Manager?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just like to report, tomorrow I will be, myself and, the chief of staff will be meeting with the MOCA board, to discuss, the current situation with MOCA, and on Thursday, we anticipate, advertising our position for MOCA director. I have, reached out to people in the art community. We have gotten leads on where we should place our ads, so just let you know, we will be moving forward. I'll be meeting with the MOCA board tomorrow, and we'll be moving forward with placing an ad out to hire a MOCA director.
Okay. Mr. Clerk?
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. On that note, I've already had a media inquiry tonight as to whether or not that board meeting is open to the public and media. Does that answer yes?
Yes, that is open and it was noticed.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Does it have to be open?
Yes, yeah, they would have to
But
be
it
open
doesn't
to the
include
public.
us.
No, we could go.
No, you could go if you like.
No, but it's
to
not a
attend.
voting matter. It's not something you're gonna vote on. Why does it have to be open to,
It's
it's a public?
Yes, sir, and it's board members, more than, one board member meeting to discuss business that foreseeably will come before the board for vote. So it is a public meeting, and it was already advertised.
Okay. Mr. Clerk?
Real briefly, I just wanted to commend the interim city attorney and the interim city manager. I have to tell you, I've been elected here for almost 5 years now, and the work that you two are doing, respectively, is literally honorable. And I just want to commend you guys for holding the fort down for the city. I know I don't get to vote on who's the city attorney or who's the manager, but I am an elected official. Like Scott said, he's going to outlast all them, but if things work out for me, I'm going to outlast all them. So I'm just very, 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 very impressed with the work you two have been doing, and please keep it up. All right?
Motion to adjourn? Thank you. Meeting is adjourned.
Good night, everybody.